In this video, we're going to look at pages. So we looked at themes and we've looked at dashboard. So dashboard is where you look at your entire account and your website effectively, except for billing, which is under the account section. And then your theme section is where you choose your theme. And then once you've chosen a theme, you'll get to your site builder. And your site builder is where you can adjust your theme and also where you can build your site. And the other thing you'll have in Builder, so you'll have the site build element and you'll also have the pages element. So the pages element is next to build. Click on pages and it shows you what pages currently exist. Now, of those pages, they aren't all necessarily on the menu bar, top right. They are here, but they won't be on your website necessarily. Some might not be visible to your menu. Some might be, some might not be. So as you can see, home at the moment, for example, is there. If we click on hide in navigation, it disappears. The page is still there, but it's disappeared on the menu. So we'll put it back so it's there again. Okay. Header. So we can, well, visibility, right. So visibility is public, site password, or members only. So most pages will be public unless you've got a members only website, in which case some will be accessible by members only. Then you can turn the header off. So the header is the photo at the top of the page. You can turn that off if you want to for one page, all pages, or just the odd one. You can also make it a splash page, which means it's got no header and it'll have an image behind it. So you can change that too. If you change a normal page to a splash page, you will lose all the strips, which I'll talk you about later. They're sections of the web page. But I'll talk you through that. This is the splash page. It's warning you you're going to lose your strips. But if you confirm and go for that, then it will change the page to a splash page like so. You can drag in elements, text, and everything else onto that page, forms, and you can have an image which you can change behind you. Now, if I change that back now to header, you'll get the header back and you'll get the page back, but it'll all be one page. You won't have any strips. So you'd have to insert strips and move stuff around again if you wanted strips. And then SEO settings. So SEO settings, this is where you keep your information regarding SEO. And SEO is important. Search engine optimization. So at the top is page title. That is what your user will see. When they click on any of your pages, in the top bar, the name of your page will be up there. And that'll be the page title. And the URL, which is the www.mywebsite/about-us, that URL is what the web reads effectively. That shouldn't change. That's your page's permalink. That's your URL, which is a permalink. If you change that after you've published your website, then any old links pointing to that page will break and you'll get what's called a 404 error. It just crashes the website and you just get a blank page saying there's a problem. So what I would suggest is on the SEO part of all of your pages, don't put anything in there yet. Create your website and design it. Get it all designed, and then at the end do the SEO. And at the end, you'll know how many pages you've got and you'll know what you want to call them. Then put in the permalink at that time. So you put in the name of the page as you go. So the page title, every time you create a page when you're designing, put the page title in, but don't put the page permalink in. And then before you publish, specify the page permalink for each page. Make sure you're happy with that. Then we'll go through and put all the SEO in place. And then after that's done for every page, at that point, and at that point only, we're going to publish the site. If at some point you do break a link, there is a way around it. We can set up a 301 divert, and I'll talk you through that as well. If you're bringing your website onto Weebly from elsewhere, we're going to be using 301 diverts. Okay, so next thing is these pages. You can add pages, different types: standard page, blog page, category page, and product page. Those are both store pages. Category types of scarf, product, a specific scarf, external page, and non-clickable menu. So external page is a link in your menu which goes to another website, and non-clickable menu is the top. It goes into your menu, but you can't click on it, but it does have a drop-down box with other pages underneath. Then if you drag the pages around, they will show differently in the menu. So you can move them around in order to show them differently in the menu as you'd like. And you can also, if you drag, we've got updates, which is the blog there selected. If we drag that slightly to the right, then when you look at the menu, you'll see it's disappeared. When you go to home, it's under home. Okay, so it's become a drop-down option. So you can do that with any page. You can move them around. You can make them sub-pages of another page. If you've got one page which is invisible, so it's not on the menu, and then you have a sub-page underneath which is visible, it won't be visible on the menu because its parent page is invisible. It's marked as not showing on the menu. So just be aware of that when you're designing. But otherwise, have a play around with that, get the layout right, get the number of pages right. What pages do you need? So plan this. This is important. You've got to plan what pages you want and what function they are going to be there for. No point having loads of pages if they don't have a function. And then try and make it clear so that people can see where they've got to go and they don't get lost. And then you might be thinking about landing pages, which we'll talk about in another video. So you might have some pages which are landing pages which aren't in the menu, but you do send traffic to from Facebook or from advertising or from Google searches. Okay. So as I say, you can add pages by adding them there, the different types and categories. You can have more than one blog if you want more than one blog. But each blog can have as many posts as you like. You only really want one shop. You can have any number of standard pages, and those pages can have headers or not have headers. They can have the same header, they can have different headers. So all of that can be changed later, so don't worry about that. Here I've just created a new page. I've called it a new page. You'd call it whatever it is. And then as you can see, it pops up in the menu as a new page. Obviously you wouldn't call it that, you'd call it whatever you want to call it. And then you can drag that page around and perhaps put it under there. So new menu is a non-clickable link. And so I try and click on that, I can't, but then new page is underneath, is a clickable web page. So I hope that makes sense and that's pretty clear. The other way of making pages is if you're happy with a particular page layout, you can copy that page and then rename it, and that'll give you another page looking the same.